Okay. I am, I had to download Streamlabs, and I've been fighting with it for the past however. So if everything looks like garbage, I'm sorry. I've just been... I am, It's almost like I am far too stoned for this right now. Not even necessarily like stoned, just out of it. I did not feel like doing anything today. It's my first day off in like 10 days, so I just wanted I just wanted to chill today, and so that's what I'm doing, and that's why I decided to do a stream and not a video. And there was like, I wrote down things that I wanted to like do videos on each, and then I realized that they're all so like intertwined. The things that I want to like talk about and everything are just like so one piece that I was like, there's no way that I can make this into like some conscious stream of thought for like several different videos. And I just kind of want to talk about it because I've been thinking a lot, like I do, like an idiot. I have a lot of time to just sit and think at work. Also, throwback, if you guys remember, I still have the mug. Of course I do. It's just impossible to fucking drink out of because it hits me in the face every time, but I still love it. At any rate, I've been stressed. I've been really, really stressed out because you guys probably don't know. I mean, no one really cares, especially like my age and above. No one really gives a shit about hip-hop and stuff like that. And I've expressed that I like it a lot, that I kind of like where music's like going in that direction. I think it's really neat, sort of this like combination of things, and where like rappers draw their inspiration from today and all this other stuff. I think it's really fucking dope. Like I even have my little my peep here. So Juice WRLD died on the 8th of December, and I'm very late talking about it. And I wasn't going to, because I was actually really upset about it. Like, genuinely really, really upset when I got the news. And it's one of those things where it feels really dumb, because you don't know the person, like, personally, but they've done so much for you. Not to mention, I think the biggest thing that people kind of miss with this is, let me see. He got famous, like, this past year. I'm looking up when Lucid Dreams was fucking uploaded because that's the song that got him famous. So he hasn't been famous for very long. Like, he just got here. And yeah, a year ago it was uploaded. 1 year ago. And that's the song that made him famous, and that's where like he started popping off and everything. And he was like 19 at the time, 19 at the time, which is insane. Makes you feel like you've done nothing with your fucking life. And he kind of got like lumped in with all of the mumble rappers and stuff, and that's whatever, that's fine. But I think what bothers me the most, and this happens every time a rapper dies, especially like mumble rap people, that like it didn't happen with like Nipsey Hussle because he was older and, you know, people respected him. But the point I'm getting at is it seems like every time just a celebrity in general dies, except for like Chester Bennington because he was like sacred for some reason, these people that want attention or think it's really funny or think that somehow their musical tastes make them better than other people always come out of the woodwork and go, well, I listen to metal, so, you know, man, I can't relate. Until a metalhead dies, you know, like, you don't really, like, think about it on both sides. And people make all these jokes and everything, and just before he passed away, like, the last video he uploaded, everyone just was calling, like, roasting him for gaining weight, and he was trying to get sober. And I can relate to trying to get sober and also getting fat at the same time. So I get it. And getting sober is already a difficult thing enough, especially on, like, opiates and everything. You get dope sick. If no one knows what that is, I'm really happy for you. It's garbage and it feels like shit to have to go through, and that's what drives you to keep doing drugs. Is you get sick when you fucking stop and you're just like, okay, I just need this to end, especially if you're a busy person. Like, I can relate just when I was working all the time. I can't imagine being like a fucking famous person trying to get sober without stopping what you're doing at the height of your career. Like, and, you know, that's shitty that he was trying to get sober. His birthday was December 2nd. And he had a weekend of, like, having a great time and everything. He had plans with Ski Mask. And if you don't care about Ski Mask either, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to talk about it. Ski Mask had his best friend, XXX Tentacion, pass away last year. And then he started to become friends with Juice WRLD. They had plans for an album. They had all this stuff going on. And then Juice WRLD dies. And that's shitty. And people don't think about the fact that the shit that you're posting about people's death and stuff is on the same internet that those people that lost someone are on. It's the same, like, I hate to break it to you, we're all on the same internet. And what frustrates me the most about it is I understand, like, jokes and stuff and whatever. That's how you might cope with things. It's not fair to push that upon somebody that's coping with it differently or maybe doesn't like that, especially when it's like an hour after it was announced there was jokes. And I think that it's a little rude, it's a little insensitive, and it's also really shitty to act like somehow because he was a rapper he deserved to die, and somehow he, because he did drugs, deserves to die. And I think that that's sort of a really shitty kind of stigma we put on people that use drugs, is, you know, you shouldn't be Narcan, you should just die, and whatever, not realizing how many people really genuinely struggle with it. Like, it wasn't obvious for me when I was working, no one knew what was going on, and you just don't know. And those people don't deserve to die. It might be someone close to you that's using drugs, and you're saying this shit. You know, like, it's garbage. And it frustrates me a lot because it really minimizes, like, the effect. So, you know, the thing is he, I guess, had, like, pot, and his private jet person, like, called the police for some dumb reason. It's just pot. And he had Percocet with him, and he ate all of them, and then he died of a seizure at the airport. Right after his fucking 20th birthday. Like, that's really garbage. Or 21st, if I remember right. Something like that. He was super young. And we just act like he deserved to die, and we can joke about it, and it's fine because he did drugs, because he was famous, or whatever. However, I think what we're missing is somebody who was very young and actually showed a lot of, like, real promise. His freestyles and stuff were way different than what most people in that mumble rap brand were putting out. And he had a legacy going, and he was there for a lot of people, and he was close to a lot of people, and he had a family. And he had a fucking girlfriend. He had everything. And, you know, you think about, like, all the rappers and stuff that probably take private jets and have all this shit and nothing ever happens. So, and the biggest thing is remembering that when you're trying to get sober, most, like, heroin addicts and stuff die shortly after a relapse, or when they relapse, because your tolerance goes up so high when you're using daily. And then when you relapse, you go back to your old dosage and you end up overdosing. That's, you know, part of the problem on its own is making fun of somebody dying for trying to get sober and whatever. And that's shitty. And then making fun of somebody who was finally getting out of their, like, bad, shitty life and poverty and doing better. And they were so young. So fucking young. Like, just dropping dead. And then, on top of that, I guess, so when I went to search his freestyle to kind of, like, when I was getting ready for the day, because I've been listening to him a lot, and before I could look up freestyle, and his freestyles are the most fucking famous, the first result was his seizure video. It was Juice WRLD seizure video. Somebody, I guess, must have recorded it, or people are thinking somebody did. regardless, do you not realize how insensitive that is? Just like you're putting somebody's death like out there, like the day he died. And normally, like, I used to kind of be like, yeah, whatever, and like super edgy about this stuff, but at the root of it, you lost someone, and it's easy to joke about, and it's easy to fucking like post videos about because it's not happening to you. But then you don't realize that these people meant something to someone else. And then, like, what happened if, like, you're, like, when my mom died? My mom affected a lot of people, and just seeing that hurt, you know? And no one really, like, could you imagine if somebody filmed it and put it online? Or if somebody made a joke the day after? Like, those types of things, you know, these, like, jokes go viral, and you know they're going to be seen, and yet you still do it. And it's just a thing for you to talk about, to get you attention, and that's where I come to Contrarians, which I've been thinking a lot about too lately. Because I was on Twitter, and a lot of people have been posting about, like, the past, like, 2015, 16-ish, to 2017, and that sort of era of time that we were in, like, as far as, like, political commentary and everything goes. It was weird. It was a weird time. And I think a lot of people did and said a lot of things just to be on the opposing side. And it's not funny. It's not cute. And it also is really harmful in a way. Because, like, I don't know. I've just been, like, noticing a lot of extremes. And I fucking said I wasn't going to talk politics anymore. And I'm trying not to. But there's a lot of extremes, like Trump's impeachment, you know, proceedings and stuff, have caused people to be like, yeah, I'm going to support him more. And I don't, it's almost like, and like, and another example that would be easier to use is like the fucking Hallmark thing, where Hallmark had like a lesbian kiss in one of their movies, and it was in a commercial, and yada, yada, yada. And like 1 million moms came out and was like bitching about it and everything. And so I guess what I'm like thinking of is when you look at like pride parades and stuff and you think these people look ridiculous and you think like, wow, how can you be so loudly gay? It's like, it's almost in a response to make somebody uncomfortable. And it's the same thing we did with SJWs versus like skeptics, and whatever we did there that was stupid, just saying outlandish shit to offend people because these people were clearly so affected. So there are people that were going to the extremes on one end and extremes on the other end to kind of push back at each other. And I just notice it happening more and more and more and more and more with literally everything. And it just feels like this push apart thing. Like, and even if you've noticed my past few like videos, I have pinned the most negative comment I've gotten. Mostly because I think it's hilarious. There's the attention you wanted. But also, it kind of goes to prove that I could talk about literally anything. Literally anything on this planet. Like, I don't know, working in a hotel and being bored. Or fucking coming back to YouTube as me, myself, and stuff. And just literally anything. And you have people that want to be contrarians. They want to comment on YouTube videos. They want to tweet and stuff about something that will upset someone else. And part of it's internet clout, and part of it is just because it makes you feel different. And everyone wants to feel a little bit different. And that's fine, I guess. Be different in a better way. Be a better person. Like, there was this joke I saw a long time ago that was like, Your Honor, I promise you, I only broke into that house and, you know, killed their children and raped their mom in front of them to troll the libtards. You know, it's shit like that, where we're just making jokes for, like, the sake of being edgy and upsetting other people, and then the other people are being loudly, like, insane about certain things to combat how fucking different the one side is, and it's, like, exposure therapy on both sides that they're trying to do. When in reality, I think that if we just let gay people be gay, if we just let people support Trump, if we just let people support Bernie Sanders, or whatever, if we just let it happen, this crazy, like, feeling of being defiant wouldn't exist. Because, like, for me personally, I know when I'm told to do something, I really don't want to fucking do it anymore. I could be in the middle of doing it, and you tell me to do it, and I don't, fuck you. that sort of tit for tat thing is ingrained in us, like psychologically. It's in our DNA. It's been tested with like monkeys and stuff, tit for tat. That sort of thing that happens is a real thing that we just do. Don't know why. There's not really a reason, other than we do that. It's something to do with like getting back. And I think that that's something that we're all doing right now, is just coming at each other super hard for no real reason other than it makes us defiant, it makes us different, it makes us stand out. And who doesn't want to be different? Especially when it seems like a majority of especially when it seems like a majority of people are holding that opinion and you just like, meh. And so you say something really loud that's really dumb and you get a response from it, and there you go. There's everything that you wanted from that. Like, I think that it's like this pop culture phenomenon, this like top 40 whatever's going on thing that we do, where when music is top 40 we automatically hate it. And it's almost because it seems so popular, or because it's noted as so popular like YouTube creators, the beauty community, people that make safe content. Those people are made fun of and hated, and have, people have terrible opinions and they say terrible things about them because they're so successful and famous and different. And it's almost like, because these people are famous when we talk about them, we therefore become famous for talking about them negatively, if that makes sense. It's really with everything, and then you kind of nitpick and you try to find things that are wrong. And I don't know if it's like a jealousy thing. I'm not too sure. But you always want to side with whatever is different. And I think that those past 2 years into 2018, maybe a little into 2018, closer to now, we're all sort of settling down. That was a lot of it. It was just saying dumb shit against whatever popular opinion there was because it got you attention. It was needless arguing. It was, just battling back and forth and saying, well, this shit's ridiculous. And somebody else being like, well, this shit's ridiculous. And we're going to fight. And, and then like, there's only a few cool liberals. And like, what was that, by the way? Like, hey guys, what was that era? And I was in it. I did that. I did dumb shit. I said some really stupid shit that was like inflammatory for no reason at all. Just other than the fact that it would piss people off, and I thought it was pushing back, and I thought that was cool. And so in my quest to be more positive, Chills, unpronounceable name says, I can't watch Chills, or what's his name, the way he talks just gets to me like that. I'm not familiar with the channel. And I'm not really going to call out anyone, because I think that we've all settled down. But, like, there was a lot of just nonsense going on there. It was like every time a feminist breathed, we were there. Every time an MRA did anything, people were there. It was like just this weird pushback that was so strange. Like, and so in my quest to be more of a positive person, and I do want to talk about that a little bit in a different, like, setting. But my quest to be more of a positive person and, like, really just kind of change my mindset, I've learned that, like, it's so cool to just support other people. It's just opinions and everything aside. It's almost like, in a weird roundabout way, you've now become the contrarian for being kind to people and supporting them and understanding their content and what they're trying to say and just liking people regardless. So supporting other people, not only does it like just feel better, but in turn you get the support that you want too, and it's a positive effect. It's not getting support from people that hate that dumb bitch, It's support from people that are like, when you're like, hey, you did your makeup really good. And is it like some overhyped fucking palette that you're using? Sure. But you did it really well, and I think that's dope. And so you just sort of I think it's something that we just need to like overcome and learn, because it is really easy and it does make you feel better to put down other people and to kind of, you know, make fun of, because there was a lot of stuff that was going on that was not real criticism. It wasn't actually constructive criticism. It was just being overly critical for no reason. Some people went over the top with insults and, you know, like, I don't know. It was shitty, and it was a shitty thing to, I think, do to people, like running people off the internet and stuff. Like, it's almost like when there's something atrocious, like the Onision Kai thing or the Jessica Yaniv thing. Yeah, be a dick about it, because those aren't good people. But when you just see someone that posts a tweet or whatever that you don't like or whatever, just leave it, dude. Just leave it. You know? Fuck. Like, why is it hurting you? Just move along, dude. Unless you have something very constructive to say where you're like, hey, I noticed this, that, and the other. But that's not fun for people to watch, is it? No one liked, you know, carefully picking apart arguments, and no one liked, you know, slow, sort of researched, like, get out of my, could you get, cats, dude, cats. But no one likes those videos, and so they didn't do well. So then what we turned to was just insulting other people, and some of it is under the guise of comedy, and it is. Some of it's funny, and you can put your opinion out there, and I can say my opinion, and that's all fine and good. What I'm saying is the mindset behind it is what really, I think, needs to change. It's, I don't know. I guess it just feels so immature to see something that's positive and then find a reason to dislike it. And I did that for a really long time. Like, I hated the Kardashians and stuff. I was like, they're so dumb and everything. But you know what? They dress really well. They're all really pretty. If it's plastic surgery, I don't care. Their plastic surgeon did a great job. In a way, all of it's art, you know? And so you can appreciate certain aspects of people and then just kind of let go of the rest. Unless it's extremely toxic, there's no real reason to talk about it, is there? There's no real reason to say that the Kardashians are dumb. There's no real reason to talk about YouTubers and stuff and say that they're stupid what does that serve you to do at all, except for give you something mundane to talk about so you don't actually have to think. And it feels like I'm calling people out, but I'm not really trying to. I'm more just trying to say what I'm seeing from here. Like, all the content that I see is almost picking people apart. And, you know, I've seen a lot of channels do it really well where you're like, hey, you know, I'm just making jokes. Because, like, there's a lot of jokes you can make about me. And that's fine. And I would laugh at them with you. But being needlessly rude and insensitive is, like, dead to me. Like, that's so pointless. You know, it doesn't make you look good at all. Like, I feel like I look at these people and I just kind of go like, wow, that was really dumb. That was a lot of wasted effort for you to just say something negative when you could just say something cool and, like, nice. And I don't know, it feels better. I made a goal to myself to, like, compliment somebody daily. Even if it's on the internet, but preferably in person, so I'm being more outgoing. Just compliment, like, one person a day. Like, go out there, like, and that's a good challenge. Like, why not, you know, this whole new year, new me thing, why not do that? Why not everyone just go make it a goal to compliment one person a day? And it makes you feel good. And it feels good to see the look on people's faces when the world is so mean and people are so cruel and people are so critical. Like, seeing the surprise on somebody's face when you stop them to say something nice is really cool. It's almost like when you work in customer service and somebody, like, apologizes for, like, to you for being like, hey, dude, I was not very nice. I was frustrated and I said something shitty. I'm sorry. Or when something goes wrong and, like, the person's calm and stuff instead of, like, being pissed at you. That look of surprise on people's face is so dope. Like, it's so cool. It feels so much better than being like, ha, this person's garbage. And here's why. Here's an annotated list with notes and sources that I researched for 3 days. When, like, it's just cooler to, I don't know. It's hard for me to, I guess, explain, because for me it's been going on since probably since I was in Louisiana. And I went and did that. And I started doing that. And it was when I was, like, experimenting with things to make me feel better. And there's going to be a video on that and, like, kind of how I came to where I'm at now. But it just is cool. It's cool to, like, whatever is popular, why be afraid of it? It's popular for a reason, you know? Like, and thank you, Golden Age Radio. I got this at Hot Topic forever ago. And I got it because it's nice and loose and it covers up my belly. And I'm a fan. I really like it. Except for it's really hard to put on when I have makeup on because I'm like, oh, I'm going to fuck this shirt up. Anyway, for instance, okay, people talk so much shit about Shane Dawson's, like, series and stuff, like when he did Inside the Mind of Jake Paul, and people were super critical, even though it was a cool thing that was kind of groundbreaking on YouTube, that not a lot of people really have been doing, and his sort of, like, docuseries that was a cool idea that we decided to just tear to shreds, instead of be like, huh, I wish I would have thought of that, or wow, you know, like, that was thought-provoking. The edits that he does on those are really good. And so, long story short, I started watching them because I was like, well, okay, I used to think that they were stupid. Why don't I just check them out and see what it's about? And I did. And you know what happened? You know exactly what happened? I bought this fucking palette. I bought this palette. I waited there on launch day for the Jeffree Star launch. And when the site crashed, I couldn't get my shit that I wanted. And I instead got this. But you know what's really, really cool? Is because of buying this and getting into this like normie-ass, mainstream, whatever, I get to play with colors and stuff on my eyes. I get to do my hair in crazy ways. I get to do different shit instead of what I've always been doing. And it's all because I went out on a limb and went after whatever this mainstream thing is that people are hating. And I checked it out, and you know what? It was a great fucking decision. I love doing my makeup now. I love doing my hair now. And I branched out to all of this sort of, like, more positive content. There is an effect, too. Like, the more negative stuff you surround yourself with, the more likely you are to think that there's a higher percentage of it happening to you. And, you know, so I think taking in as much, like, critical and rude commentary and sort of, like, negative stuff in general is making us more critical and negative. But when you just kind of want to look at people complimenting others and you want to look at things, like, people actually doing things instead of sitting and talking, and I know that's what I'm doing right now. I don't have the setup. That's another story, but that's where I wanted to take my channel, is to just do shit. Like, why am I gonna... It doesn't show any real integrity or ability to just sit here and talk about stupid shit. I have 5,000 things I could bring up and, you know, pick apart and even do it in a funny way. I don't wanna. I just don't want to. And I think that that's sort of the energy we just need to bring into this new year and move on from, like, this sort of shitty, like, just... I don't know, it feels like just this wave of just negativity all the time. And I know I sound like I'm preaching and stuff, and I get it. I really do. But this is also really new to me, because I've always been really pessimistic and really shitty and stuff, and it's new to me, and it's really, really made me feel better. It's made me more motivated. It's made me want to do things, like, and try new things, and it's so important that we let go and we move forward. It's like, it feels like people hit a certain age, and it's usually, like, their 20s, mid-20s. They choose a certain way that they want to be, and then block off any new anything. Any new information, any new, like, media, any new music, movies. No. This is where I stopped aging. Here. And I will not go a single bit further. I don't want to learn what yeet means. I don't want to know what the T is. Why not? Just why not? Honestly, like, why? What does it affect you to check out new things? Like, genuinely, what would it change? What would happen if you just decided to listen to a new song that's popular? What if you went and saw that new movie that's popular? Did it suck? Maybe, but you still had a new experience. And that's so important to me. Golden Age Radio, I'm glad you're helping to spread the antidote to all the poison of social media. I try to do the same on my show, by the way. My offer to have you. Yeah, I'd love to be a guest on your show, dude. DM me. That'd be dope. But yeah, I think that it is time. We've had the internet for so long. And like I said, we're all on the same internet. Other people can see what you're posting. Other people can see what you're saying. And, you know, I just kind of feel like maybe it's lack of energy on my part. But I guess I just feel like if somebody wants to identify as fucking dragonkin, I don't care. Why does that affect me? It doesn't. Unless they're pushing back on it. Why do I care? Is it really gonna, like, fuck up my day to just use their preferred, like, pronoun even? If somebody wants to be called they, is it, like, unless they're those people where if you mess it up, they get shitty with you, why does it hurt? What's the point? Like, why argue that? Like, just leave that alone. Why? Is it really worth your time? Is it really worth the argument? Is it really worth hurting someone's feelings? Just because you don't want to, just accept at all anything. Like, there feels like there's no leeway given to these things. It's like, it's either, you know, I won't call you they because you're forcing me to, or I'm going to force you to call me they because you won't. Well, just, dude. And I know this seems like a really, like, long-winded rant, but it's something that, like, it's been on my mind pretty much since I hopped back on Twitter. Because, like, Facebook, I mean, my personal Facebook has a fair bit of it, too. People that, like, just post shit to piss people off. And they're like, haha, I trolled you, I triggered you, which is really shitty, because, like, some things are honestly genuinely triggering. Like, you know, and for me, I guess I'm a bit more exposed to it. I make jokes about myself all the time and my mental health and things that I've gone through. And really, at this point, you'd have no idea what's actually ever happened to me. At all. I make so many fucking jokes. But for some people that maybe have just gone through this raw experience, like, it might not really be the best to upset them. You know what I mean? Like, just a little bit of, like, understanding from where other people are coming from, I think would go a long way here. And, you know, people are going to label me what they want to label me as far as with this discussion. Like, that's fine. Because if you want to get mad at me, I would rather be your punching bag than someone else. And I want to be that person. You know, like, just deal with me then. Don't come after random small people that feel a certain way. Go through me, because, like, I'm over it. I can handle it, and just, there's no point. There's no point in, like, spamming somebody with, like, negative shit about because of the way that they feel. There's no, where is your energy? You could spend your energy on so many different things. Like, since I stopped caring so much about politics, I've been able to really take care of myself. Like, I wash my face daily. I fucking do my makeup. I do my hair. I try new outfits. And I love it. I've accelerated my career because my focus is so much more broad. I look at the big, big picture now. And I guess that's really where we should be going. Like, it should be more looking at this broader, like, spectrum of things rather than this one person that said this one thing on Twitter once. You know, like, and I also feel like every moment's a teachable moment. So anytime something goes wrong or somebody says something shitty, it's a teachable moment. You can either use them as an example or they can use themselves as an example. Instead of this, like, canceled thing, this, you know, we don't support this person, or, you know, they're a piece of shit, and just writing them off. Like, just let them talk about it first. See if they've actually learned from it, because some people genuinely do. Like, there's some shit I've said that I genuinely fucking feel bad for. And, yeah, a lot of things are protected with comedy, but there are certain things, so the rule of thumb, for me, it has to be more funny than it is offensive. That's the rule. Otherwise, you're just being needlessly cruel and hoping it makes people laugh. And it is almost like an easy joke. There's a lot of easy jokes for things. And I think that being a actual comedian and actually making people laugh has a lot more to do with just cheap shots, you know. Take it as you will. So, and I mean, and the other thing I wanted to do was like a year in review video, because my year's been insane and it continues to get insane. And that's where, like, I don't know. I guess that's where that all ties in, is I've changed myself a lot this year, and I'm still working on it, and I'm still working on being positive, and it hurts. It's hard. Let me tell you, like, people think you're so tough because they're, like, strong-headed because you're so negative about shit. Let me tell you, what the real challenge, at least with my life, is staying positive and trying to find a silver lining in everything. And sometimes it goes so wrong, because yesterday I almost broke my whole kitchen. I almost tore all my cabinets down and almost broke my foot kicking shit, because I had such a bad week. Everything's going wrong, and no one really cares about any of that. But everything is going wrong at once. And it was just one thing after another, after another, after another, after another. And it was small things that were just frustrating and a letdown. Like, I was supposed to have plans today. Guess what I'm doing instead? Because things change. And things have just been nuts for me. I worked 5 turnarounds in a 10-day, stretch. Sucked. And my apartment's really shitty. Somebody's car got stolen out of my driveway, which is great. Love that. My deadbolt is broken. I woke up with it broken. And my upstairs neighbors are drug dealers. And their meth gives me a migraine when I stay home for too long. Yeah. So that's a lot of fun. But I got some fucking letter about my dog and dog waste, and somebody complained. Anyway, long story short is I have been trying to be positive for so long. I got that letter, and I tried to politely call the office, and I tried to be as calm as possible and not blow up and scream, because I've told them about the things I'm experiencing here, and they've done nothing. But I'm so glad you sent me a letter over literal dog shit that wasn't there. I tried to just prepare myself to not scream at these people. And they're closed. They were closed. So I lost my mind. In short, I started just kicking shit and screaming about how much I hate this place. And I had a full meltdown. I mean, panic attack, heaving, crying, shaking, fucking everything. I lost my mind. It's so hard to stay so positive. And now I broke down for a good 15 minutes. And I sat on my floor. And I used my floor as an ashtray because I was like, fuck this place. And so I got it together. And we contacted a realtor. And contacted the bank. Got pre-approved for a house already. And we have viewings this week. And I'm just going to break my lease and leave. So that's sort of, I guess, the big thing is me being more positive and stuff has really helped me, my bounce back time for things. It used to be if something bad happened, I would lose, my cats broke my mom's jewelry box that she gave me when I was a kid. And it's glass and oak and stuff, and it's really, really pretty. They knocked it down and broke the top glass part of the mirror. And so I cried because that was my mom's, but okay, it's fine. Sat there, got really upset, tried not to kill my cats, and then I calmed down, and I went, hey, stained glass would be pretty cool. I wanted to try doing it once. So my mom loved roses. Why not do that? Is what me and Alan thought of. And that's what we're going to do. Just fix it. And normally I'd be upset for days. I'd be pissed for the whole day. It would ruin my whole day. And instead now I went, hey, the silver lining is I get to create something. My mom was really crafty too. I get to create something and try something new on this and make it even more of an homage to her. Nothing broke. Nothing came out of the jewelry box. It was taped shut. Everything was fine except for that top part. The wood broke off, but it slides right back on. And I can do what I wanted to do a thing. So that's also, I guess, why I'm talking about this. It's not even just like a, everyone should be happy all the time. It's like when you break down, though, this silver lining shit, this being positive shit, this finding good things and bad, really helps just on your day-to-day life. Something goes wrong at work and I just go, well, okay. And then you move on. You just move on. And it's a cool feeling, for sure. It's a cool just thing. And I think that, and like with the contrarian thing, I think that's why it pisses me off as well so much. Like, because here I am, losing my mind, a lot of things, and mental health issues. I'm unmedicated for the most part right now, which is hard, for sure. Especially, like, all things considered lately, it's hard to be unmedicated and sober from painkillers and stuff. Trying my best, trying to enjoy stuff, trying to see a positive message, and then just watching people tear it down for no fucking reason other than they wanted to be an asshole. That's it. They just wanted to be an asshole on the internet. And here I am just trying to enjoy some fucking heartwarming story, and you're being a dick. Like, what? What purpose, dude? I'm trying my best. And, I've always had this mentality of, like, if I can do it, probably anybody can. I'm not anything really special. So if, like, my dumbass, my pathetic, sad bitch ass can get out and be more positive and more receptive to new things, what's stopping you? Like, why do that, dude? Why do that? Why shit on rappers? Why fucking act like top 40 music is bad? Why make fun of Billie Eilish? Like, why bother? Why bother? They're not doing anything except for just living their fucking life. And I could go on for hours about this. And so that's, I guess that's just kind of how I feel about that and, like, modern rappers passing away and just sort of how people behave. It's shitty, and it's a shitty kind of life to live in. And I think it also makes you a shittier person. Like, I stated in my, like, coming back video that politics made me a very angry person because at the end of the day, you can't change someone's opinion. So, somebody's abstract opinion of things. Like, you can't change that, and it's just going to make you mad. And if you find things to make you mad, if you find things in the world to be mad about, well, that does extend. And I hate to say it, it does extend out into your everyday life. You choose to be, a little bit more angry about something than you should. And, like, this is me, like, being mentally ill and depressed and stuff. This isn't some sanctimonious, like, if you're depressed, just cheer up. That's not what I'm saying. These are small steps that you can make to make these things better for you, because with BPD, I'm subject to fits of rage, to a short temper, to tantrums, and obsessive behaviors. And my obsessive behavior became making people mad or being mad about things because it felt good. It makes you feel powerful for a little bit to be so angry. But I'd rather be passionate than something else, than about something good and transformative than, you know what I mean? Rather than being just angry, like Alex Jones level angry, just spitting at the camera, pissed off about something that I can't change. At the end of the day, like, you can try and you can give, but that's the thing, is we're not changing anything with the criticism that we're giving at all. purposely misgendering people, purposely doing these things, like, takes so much more effort. And I don't know. It feels very misplaced. And so, like, for me in particular, I was unpronounceable name says it's a lot easier said than done. Just be more positive. And that's, yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying it's easy at all. And like I said, like, I struggle with severe depressions. Like, can't get out of bed, can't shower, can't eat, can't sleep depressions. And that's what I'm saying is, like, I think when you take smaller steps throughout your life, like I said, start out just complimenting one person a day on their t-shirt, on whatever. Like, I've even said to people, hey, you've got really nice teeth. You've got really great eyebrows. Just something. And you just start with that. You start trying to build these things. And that's the other thing, is surrounding yourself with things that are a little bit less critical can really shift your perspective a bit. And it's not, like I said, I'm really not trying to say that you can just jump out of it. You can't. And for me, I've had days that I can't find a single goddamn thing to be positive about. And it hurts and it sucks. And those are days that, those are days that you just try your best to do things that make you comfortable. And you shouldn't use those days to lash out at people, and you shouldn't use those days, to be a shit. You should just use those days for you, because you clearly need it. And joys of sorrow, I don't want to lie to people. Don't. That's the point, is to find one thing that you can find one small thing that's positive to just say, like literally anything. Like, oh, just somebody saying, hey, that's a really cool shirt. Dude, thanks. It's not personal, it's mass manufactured, but it still makes me feel good. Like, I've got a good fashion sense. You just have to look for something. Like, I literally stopped somebody in the middle of a store once to say, because he was wearing a Carmar Descarzon shirt, and that's, like, one of my favorite designers. I literally clogged traffic in the store to be like, I really like your shirt, dude. Unpronounceable name says, yeah, me too. Only 0.2% of the world population is my type of depression. Major depression and Luxien, Luxhien symptoms. I'm actually not familiar with that, but I can definitely understand major depression, and I'll have to look into the other, but it's hard. And I think that challenging yourself in that way that's where I'm saying, I guess that's about the misplaced efforts, is definitely, if you're misplacing your efforts into being so critical and angry and mad at people, like, you can put more, I guess, effort in focusing on the positive. You just have to shift you just got to try to shift where you're going, and do it in a small bit, like, because if you overwhelm yourself with positive shit, you're just going to feel, like, cheesy as hell. And I do feel cheesy as hell, even talking about it. But that's stupid. Why should I feel cheesy and cringy for just talking about being happier? Why is that so frowned upon? And Joyce Sorrow says, I live in LA, being kind is a sin. And a waste of time. So, yeah, most people are probably garbage, but maybe they got a cool shirt on. Maybe they got some nice shoes. You know what I mean? It's, but yeah, it's definitely, it's hard. Like, even where I live in a really shitty area. Really, really shitty, as I've stated. But I still do my best. You still just do what you can, make someone smile. Like the other day, I went to the liquor store, and this poor lady was working, and this guy would not leave until he got the, 10 cents he needed to buy a half pint. And she was terrified. She was frustrated and terrified because this guy would not leave her alone. And I only had my credit card. I didn't have any change with me. And he turns around and he asks me, and she's just looking at me like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I was like, just put it on my card. Get him out of the fucking store. It was like $3, get him out of the store. And I did, and that lady was so relieved. Like, in a shitty area, you can still make some people feel better. And I think that's important for sure, is like, people may be garbage, but maybe they're garbage because they're so tunnel visioned into something negative. Like drugs, for instance. I mean, drugs make people shitty. Like, trust me, I know. And Unpronounceable Name says, at the end of the day, I always name 3 things I'm grateful for and 1 thing I'm proud of. It keeps a lot in getting that perspective, or that positive mindset, which I agree to. I mean, definitely, like, whatever makes you feel right, whatever makes you feel better. Like, I always try to just, I will brag about myself now. I never used to. I never used to think I was very good, and I still don't. But I can find things like, wow, I'm goddamn good at my job. Like, I landed us a corporate contract, I got us a corporate rate with this big company in town. Small little things like that where I could be like, hell yeah. You know what I mean? Like, fuck yeah, I did this thing. Or like, hey, my staff that I was training, wow, they listened. It's important, and there's just things that, I don't know, things that you just can feel better at. Like, today I did my makeup, and you know what? I'm really, really proud of my eyeshadow. I think it turned out pretty fucking dope. Vincent Van Holt, what did I miss? A lot. Just kind of me rambling and doing, like, just kind of talking about stupid shit. And, I don't know. It's insane. And I guess I just, like, with how much, like, went on this year, if you haven't noticed, there's been a lot. Staying positive is probably the only thing that really kept me alive. I hate to say it. It's the only thing that got me sober. It's the only thing that got me moving. It's the only thing that got me motivated. Like, if I focused on all of the negative things that happened this year, I would not leave my bed, ever. I would probably relapse. I'd probably be back on drugs. I'd probably be drinking more than I do. I would 100% go back to who I was, because it's been a traumatic, insane, and just crazy year. And, that kind of shit saved my life. Just kind of trying to find good things. Because for fuck's sake, I get so over the negative things, the bad things that are happening. So tired of hearing about them that sometimes just the switch of it feels good. And that, I don't know. It just feels nice to just kind of accept things. Just accept things. Just move along, dude. Like, I don't know. And I just frustrated. Like, I get made fun of a lot for, like, cutting, like I used to, and which is fine. It's whatever. Haha, very funny. But I think the reason why I feel so connected to the Juice WRLD thing, it's making me so mad because I'm still seething about it, is this past year, everything I've gone through, that I probably won't go over everything because it's a lot, but everything that I've gone through this year, losing my mind, so I listened to Juice WRLD the whole time, remodeling my old house to sell, listening to Juice WRLD, moving into my new house, Juice WRLD, the road trip to Louisiana, Juice WRLD, every time I was upset, Juice WRLD. And so I got the 999 tattoo. Whoop. As you guys know, I got this done. But the cool thing about it is I lost my mind and I tried to kill myself. So you've seen this, and I lied about it, but let me see if I can get, like, a good angle. So, like, here, I have a nasty scar, like, all down my wrist here. I gave myself nerve damage. I can't, these 2 fingers don't grip at all. Like, I can't move them as well. I just, like, flayed my skin open. So when you look at this, and you see it's gone sideways, right? I don't know. The lighting's really bad. But you see it's gone sideways. The thing that made me change direction is I started up here, and I didn't want to cut through my tattoo. I had just gotten it. And so I went to the side, and I missed all of my major veins because of it. I got, nerve damage, but I, didn't die. That was cool. And I didn't even have to I didn't go to the hospital for it or anything. That's why it looks so gross, I guess, is because I didn't get stitches. It just kind of, healed up on its own in a way. But that's the other thing. So when I think about this tattoo, and I kind of think about even the meaning of it, and sort of just the timing of getting it and the timing of, like, cutting myself and stuff, I got really lucky. Really, really lucky. So that's the thing. So when you make fun of these things, when you, like, I don't want to see somebody I looked up to die. I already did. It sucked. It's traumatic, and it's upsetting, and it's sad, and why would you spread that out to the internet at all? So I have a personal connection to it, and, I'm 25. I am a grown-ass lady, and I looked up to him, and I really respected him, and I respected his music, and his music was very helpful. And, so I had a connection. And no one would really think that because I'm a 25-year-old fucking lady, right? But I did. And so it's shitty when I see people that I respect being like, oh, what a fucking druggy loser dying. Ha ha ha. It's very funny. And it's just garbage. It's just a really garbage thing to see. And I don't appreciate that, like, at all. And I'm sure most of his fans don't either. So, I don't know. I just, like, with cancel culture being a thing, can we just cancel, like, stupid negative shit? Can we just stop that? Like, I know without the negativity there wouldn't be any, but the reason I watch YouTube primarily is because I think it's more honest than most shows or anything you can watch, because they're real people, and I think that we're not doing that. We're not just kind of showing us being real people, because I don't know. It's very hard to explain. I want to be me, and I want to be authentically me, especially now that I've become accepting of Angie, of who I am, Angie, not this dumb piece of shit on the internet talking shit about literally everything. Is because I wanted more authentic content that isn't research, that isn't, like, hard cut, that isn't, like, not everything has to be that way. Not everyone needs to be doing that. Unpronounceable names asked what cancel culture is. It's basically like hashtag YouTube is over party, hashtag Shane, where they try to cancel people so they're irrelevant for something stupid like an old tweet or something. Because for some reason when people get famous now, what we do is we look at all their old tweets. Every single one. And if they apologize once, not good enough. What? That's the other thing, is that nitpicking I was talking about that's what that is. It's you just nitpicking and you're trying to find something negative about a positive thing. I guess I'd rather discuss things than I would argue them. I'd rather have a conversation than a debate now, and maybe it's because I'm old, maybe it's because I'm a lot more laid back, but, like, it's exhausting, and I feel like you can't share an opinion unless you've done, like, critical research. Like, for my old videos, I was reading, like, fucking real scientific, like, papers on this stuff, and doing all of that research just for somebody to fire back and be like, you didn't do your research, you're uneducated, because they found other articles or other, like, fucking things that combat yours, and it's just that. And, you know, like, why can't I just have an opinion on something? Why can't I just have an opinion without somebody being really shitty about it? Why can't I just state, like, you can, the perfect example is the pineapple on pizza thing. What, hey guys, so what was that? Why did we care about that for so long? Like, people's food choice, legitimately people's food choice, what they put on their goddamn pizza was a huge internet debate. It's literally just your opinion, and we fucking, like, that was such a waste of energy. It still is. It's still a debate going on. Can we just let people? Can we just let people? 2020. Can we just let people? There's the slogan for the new year. 2020, can we just let people? Just let them. Like, what? Like, I had a Hawaiian pizza that had mandarin orange. That shit fucked. It was so good. And, you know, most people wouldn't try it because the internet says pineapple on pizza bad. Guys, what the fuck? Just these arbitrary arguments and, like, opinions and stuff when, like, I don't know. I know most of it is a joke, you know, and, like, it starts out as a joke. But then it just becomes this weird, like, discussion that lasts for way too long, where it's almost now, like, a cultish thing, and we just do that. We just do that. Why? Or why? Like, I don't know. And I think since I've gotten busier and stuff, because with my job and stuff now being more insane, I don't really have time for it anymore. Like, I just don't. Yeah, mandarin orange, but there's a gourmet pizza place in my city that makes it, and it's dope as hell. Somebody came up with that, and you're just slamming it because the internet said bad. That bad. It makes you form an opinion on something you've never even, like, experienced. You know what I mean? Because internet says this. Like, movies and stuff, too. Internet said this movie bad, therefore I'm going to go in with my critical glasses on, and I'm going to watch this movie and be like, oh yeah, fucking Xbox Gamer _ XXX69 said it was a bad movie, and you know what? He was right. I found that little mistake that they left in where you could see somebody in the background scratching their nose at exactly this time. And he said that, and he was right. So the whole movie, garbage. You see what I mean? Like, we put out these, like, weirdly specific things to be angry about. And then you go and you watch something and you go, that's not right. Literally the smallest shit. And there are some things, like 13 Reasons Why I was going to do a review on. I found it was pretty toxic and pretty shitty. Because, hey, suicide survivor, gang, that's me. But I never really watched the whole thing, and I was like, you know what? I'm over it. I don't really need to watch this. I don't know. And it's almost like, you know, like that depression where you stop really giving a fuck about things in general. You're like, yeah, whatever, my bills due, I don't give a shit. You know, fucking all of these things. And you almost end up doing it with people's opinions. Honestly, that's what happened to me, and I feel free as hell. And I think, I don't know. Do you guys want me to go on about sort of my change and how it happened in just this stream, or should I do it later? Because I don't want to end my stream, but I also, you know, feel like I'm harping on the same thing forever now. But I don't know. I think that, like, for me, with my mental illness and stuff, and I hate to keep harping on that as well, it does make me feel a lot better to just sort of move on from it. It's a lot healthier. Like, being off of Twitter and YouTube for as long as I was when I was going through those things that I was going through, kind of helped me just grow in a way of, like, not constantly being attacked with feedback and people and, all of these other things. Just living my life for a little bit and just sort of just living, dude. Just doing your thing. Like, but thank you guys for noticing my buns. This one kind of got messed up, but you know what? It's fine. I put a little hair clip in here too, because I decided to start doing my hair. That's something else. As far as self-care stuff goes, it's been dope as hell to like care about myself. Like, but you guys seem interested, and okay, I guess I'm going to talk about what made me. Well, I have to go off screen for just a moment here. Just gonna. So that would be you. Since it's against terms of service, but I needed to hit. Essentially, once I moved to Louisiana, I got sober. Duh. And then I started drinking all the time to replace that sort of void from pills. I was drinking at like 8 a.m. and it wasn't pretty. Like, actually, one of my tattoos is kind of fucky, and I didn't notice because I was drunk when I got it. Pretty mad at that. But I got sober, I started drinking. Drinking made me a very angry person. It always, if I do it for too long, especially with like, and I know there's no evidence backing this, but with liquors for some reason, like, whoops, that's gone. That train of thought was completely gone. It's gone now. Oh, with certain liquors, when I drink them a lot, I get angry, and I think it's just because it's concentrated and stuff. So, I did that for so long, and then I don't know, it put me in a really bad spot. And if you watch, like, my old videos, I'll probably delete all of them, honestly. Like, old videos and streams, especially, like, even on SideQuest. I got so drunk and so shitty and so mean and just so mad at everything. And then I decided, some shit happened, and I decided to dry out because I was, honestly, with my mental state, it's not good for me to drink. I was having hallucinations. And disassociating and having age regression. And if you don't know what those things are, I'll go over it later. I want to do a whole video on fucking borderline personality disorder because let me tell you, it's insane. But I started having those things happen to me. And, things were just getting really shitty. So I decided to dry out. I started doing mushrooms. I started microdosing. And with those, I was able to, I would walk and listen to an audiobook, which was my favorite thing to do. I would, fucking trip and just kind of, like, listen to music. Not really trip, but you get a good little, like, buzz going and, like, go to the gym and stuff. And you, like, have this routine and, like, put it in a smoothie and, you're on your way and all this other stuff. It made me feel really good, and it really made me think, and it really made me think in a more positive direction. It made me more creative. I used to get drunk and take pills and stuff thinking, oh, I'll write something today, oh, I'll make something today. But let me tell you, that's not how it works. Drugs don't really, really motivate you. Things that most people do, they're not conducive to any sort of, like, productivity, as much as you want to think that they are. And I learned that, and I learned alcohol was making me incredibly lazy, and I learned that I learned that I can't not have a job. I just can't stay at home. I can't do that. But I sort of moved on from that. And I moved back up here and stayed as sober as I could. And, there was a big change in me emotionally, learning how to, like, care about myself. And being by myself for the bit that I was very healthy. Because sometimes you can forget that you can do things on your own, and I wasn't doing things on my own. I felt very codependent. I felt like an add-on. I didn't feel like myself. And that can make you feel really, like, garbage, and especially with certain, like, drugs and stuff, and drinking, it makes you do dumb shit, and you can't remember it, and it's embarrassing as hell. And having a hobby to help with the depression is something I've been trying to do. Right now, I'm unfortunately not in a space that's conducive to really much of anything, except for sitting on my couch. But I've been painting things. They're not very good, but I've been painting them. Makeup's been a big hobby for me. Been buying new makeup and trying new things and watching tutorials and doing my hair and finding new outfits that are, like, popular. I've been a really big fan of street fashion lately. So those things have helped a lot. And really shifting my focus to, like, what can help me organically grow as a person. Especially now that I've just sort of figured out that who you are and, like, I guess what you're around is what makes your perspective. It's what makes you you. Like, when I came back, so many people noticed that I was better. I've had people that I worked with last year before I moved that thought I was a stuck-up bitch. They did not like me that much. They didn't really think that I was inviting. They didn't think I was, like, just a good person. They didn't like being around me. And then coming back this time, being more positive, being more happy. And, like, getting my teeth helped with that a lot. I smile more. And that helps too, just sort of the act of smiling. There's been a study on it. Like, you bite on a pencil, it mimics smiling, and you're more positive throughout the day. So, I just started smiling more, and I started being more, like, comfortable, and I started really just kind of getting into myself. And that reflection is hard, and I think it takes a lot of work, because naturally, I think we try to distance ourselves from negative things and toxic things we might be doing. And that sort of critical thinking about yourself, and you start to think about where you went wrong or what went wrong. And, blaming it on the drugs is a good cop-out, but that's not it. That's part of who I was as a person. And I started doing that. I've traveled a lot, and I realized I never even explored the town that I live in right now. And that's what I've been doing, is I've been trying to go and do, like, I made candles. We have a little, like, candle company, and you can go in, you can make your own candle. I did that. That was dope. I went to a cool arcade bar. I went bowling. I went downtown. I walked around, and I did all of this stuff. I went and saw the Christmas lights, and doing those things are very, very healing. Like, doing that stuff is great. And so the other thing that I've been doing just recently, that I think helped a lot too is, so I grew up with pot smokers. My mom was a fucking stoner. And, so I grew up around that and stuff. And then I smoked pot when I was younger and had a very bad association with it due to I'm sorry if you guys can hear that water dish just gurgling, because I can, and it's obnoxious. Hold on a minute. Sorry, I couldn't fucking stand that. Anyway, I had a bad association with pot due to an experience that I had with somebody, and it has nothing to do. Everyone kept telling me, "Oh, it's the strain that you're smoking." Had nothing to do with it. I had a bad experience with a pot smoker while high, and it made me very anxious afterward. And then my ex-fiance, she would smoke pot, and I'd end up doing everything, and it was shitty, and it felt bad, and I had a negative connotation around people, smoking and stuff, and I realized that it wasn't very fair. God damn it. Realized it wasn't very fair. It wasn't fair to people because, my mom was not really that person at all. She would get high and she'd clean and she'd do all this stuff and she would create. My mom's favorite thing to do was get high and craft. That was what her hobby was. That's what she did. She would just get super high. She'd find what she had laying around, and then she would make shit constantly. She'd make little, she'd paint, she'd sew, and she was the queen. If she was on Pinterest back then, she'd be a goddess for all the shit that she would do. And I obviously look up to my mom a lot. That's no fucking secret for you guys at all. I look up to my mom a lot. She was a amazing person. Just no one would ever be like her. And so I don't know. After, the mushrooms and stuff, which isn't conducive, unfortunately, it's not conducive to having a career and, working and stuff, because you can't it lasts, 6 fucking hours. So you can't, it's a good thing to do occasionally when you have, a major depression. It does bring you out of it. It really does. Not something I could do daily. And I became more, comfortable with my surroundings and my life and stuff. So I decided, hey, it's legal now, because I'm in Michigan. I'm going to buy some pot. Smoked a little bit with friends. I was like, hey, this is fine. This is not as bad as I thought it would be. I'm not as anxious. And so I started doing that. Started smoking. And I'm not really ashamed to admit it. And I know a lot of people are going to, flame me for it. But so now, instead of coming home and having a beer like I used to, because I work a hard job. People don't think it is. Hotels are really hard to work in. High turnover rate, high burnout rate, they're terrible to work in. Our turnover rate is, I think, just below fast food. And it's higher than hospitals. So, it's a tough job. And so I would come home and I'd have a beer or 2 or 4. And because I'd stopped drinking liquor, because beer was at least filling enough to make me stop drinking. Because I was like, oh, I'm full, I can't drink anymore. So anyway, long story short, now when I come home, I smoke a bowl. Or instead of when I'm in pain at work, instead of taking anything, I go out and I take a hit and I come in and, my body hurts less. I'm less anxious and I'm not popping as many pills. I'm not drinking as much. And, for one, just feeling that alone, I feel my body losing all of that water weight. The same thing happened when I quit drinking as many Red Bulls as I was a day, because I was drinking 2 16 to 20 ounce Red Bulls daily. Not good. So now that I'm not drinking as much, I drink when I go out now, and sometimes I'll have a drink at home, but normally it's a friend wants to go to the bar and we go. Or I, went to that arcade and I was like, well, let me try the water temple drink. That sounds dope as fuck. But outside of that, just in my day-to-day life, it's calmed me down a lot and it's really made me focus on a lot. It's made me more creative. I got high and I went to Hobby Lobby, and let me tell you, I am staring at all of these cool projects I have. Alan took up wood burning and I took up painting. And right now I can't craft like I used to. There's a lot of things that I want to fucking do and make that I just need the space for. And it's a weird thing to just decide to do, but it helped me, and I'm not going to say it's going to help everyone. It's just not. Unfortunately, it's just not. But it has helped curve some of that stress relief I've been looking for when I come home and have a beer. It feels better. It's calming. I can sleep, and I can still live my life with it. It's also actually had me adjust a healthy diet. I eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and small snacks in between, like you're fucking supposed to. so that's been dope as hell. And it's also just kind of made me realize that that's what I want to do, is I just want to kind of get high and create things and like do what my mom used to do, is just kind of get high and craft and just be alone and do my shit, do something that makes me feel good, makes me feel proud, and is somewhat productive. And I think that that's, really gotten me away from a lot of the bad things that I was doing, and just that sort of changing my mindset. I don't know, helped a lot. And like the accepting of popular things. It's a little bit more fun too, to just be like, oh, well, this new thing's coming out. That's so exciting. And you can be excited about it with other people, and you can share in an experience. And I don't know their political views. I don't know how they feel about whatever. But I do know that they're really, really excited about this song that's coming out. And so am I. And it's like this unifying factor that it makes you not just kind of forget that there are so many divisive things in society. We live in a society, but there's so many divisive things, divisive topics, and divisive opinions that we can think of, like we can think about, and we can point those out, and we can, be like, well, this person seems like they would have this opinion. This person seems like they're this type of person, instead of just like enjoying the moment with somebody. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to politics, whoever someone votes for, or whoever somebody like decides, whatever their opinions are, they're gonna have them. It's gonna affect whatever change, and that's how unfortunately, that's just how democracy works. Even in a social setting, people are mad about, like, there are some things with the drag queens, that maybe not a good idea, but then at the same time, there's also more men in makeup than there ever have been. And that's dope. And like socially, we're affecting that change. We're affecting the change of the stigma of men wearing makeups, men having emotions and stuff. And I think that instead of being so hesitant to like that culture, like gay, like not even gay culture, just men wearing makeup, being so hesitant towards that, and being so hesitant towards drag queens and pride and everything, you seem to forget that, especially with like MRAs, the goal is the same. It's to have men be more comfortable with who they are. There, like, Cody Ko did a song about being short, and that shit slaps, for one. And for two, it's like celebrating not being 6 foot, whatever. Being more comfortable in your body as a man. Doing your makeup. Men should be able to cover their fucking blemishes if they want. If you want to fill in your beard, do it, dude. Do it. You want to have a nice fucking face wash and stuff? Do it. You actually want to shampoo and condition your hair and wash your ass with something else? Dude, yeah. You want to be emotional about something that most people would consider dumb? Just do that. And I feel like there's this overlap there that we're not necessarily thinking of when it comes to that. Like, the main goal is the same. Men should be comfortable in their own skin and be able to do the things that they want to do, like effeminate things, like caring about their skin somehow makes you feminine, those kinds of things. Those stigmas we put on men, that they can't do these things, and MRAs are upset about it, and so are people on the left. But they're still fighting because there's some opinions that differ there. So I've said this a million times, but there is a good foundation to build something here. And instead, I think it's like building a house. There's a good foundation to start on, and we're now arguing about, like, siding for some reason. There are just things that we could do, and I think we could be a lot more unified, and using strawberry scented lotions are what make people feminine. Not even that. Smell however you want to smell. Like, do that, dude. Like, If you don't want to, like, there are men that, you know, you can still be masculine and stuff and have your, like, masculine thing. But, you know, if you like a certain smell that's girly, dude, fuck it. Like, it's to the point where if I wear glitter or whatever and I hug Alan, he's like, I have to wipe it off before the guys at work see. What? The fuck, dude? Like, I put it on my chest sometimes, and he'll get it on his face because he likes to put his face. Anyway, he likes to put his face there. But then he'll be like, oh no, there's glitter all over my face. And I'm like, literally just tell people at work, like, I just put my face in my wife's tits. Problem with the glitter? Like, the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, and for me, I started dressing a bit more, like, masculine in a way. I kind of, you know, I have my, like, 2 different looks where I can be, like, you know, super girly and, like, cutesy and wear a dress and heels. And then there's just this part of me that's just more chill and, like, whatever. It's fine. If it looks good, if I like the aesthetic of it, why am I going to worry about if it's girly enough or not? My tits don't have to show all the time. I'm just saying, I don't have to have my tits out. I don't have to, you know, look all cute and nice and wear, like, feminine stuff and have my nail. Dude. It's ridiculous to just kind of, like, put, I guess, that sort of standard on people. Like, do what you want. Just do what you want to fucking do. Like, what? It doesn't affect... I don't know. I feel like I've had a huge, like, revelation about a lot of things, and I guess I'm trying to spread it in such a way where it's like it's not preachy, it's not fucking forced positivity, it's just things that we could probably do a little bit better on. Like, people can be better, we can be better, you know. But no one really likes to accept that. No one really, I guess, likes to think. Like, I find a lot of people can do that vicious criticism thing and come after people, but once you give them criticism or once you mention something about what we could be doing better, it's an issue, and suddenly you're an SJW and suddenly you're a bitch or whatever. Like, why can't we just kind of talk about it? And why can't we just kind of move forward? Like, I mean, there are so many... The internet is such a cool tool that we have, and I feel like we don't utilize it in a way that we really, really could, and that's to gather similar foundations that we can build on, and instead of arguing on Twitter. Like, I feel like I'm getting osteoarthritis in my thumb because of Twitter. Because of messaging, because of Twitter, my thumb always hurts. And how the fuck do you guys do that? I don't understand. Joys of Sorrow says, because people are more into watching people suffer than succeed. True, but I feel like we could change that, you know, like, we could work on that. We could do something better. It doesn't mean, you know, like, and you can even give criticism, and that's fine, you know, like, but the biggest thing is, like, if you make fun of somebody, if you're making fun of something about them, like, it's always so important to, I guess, make it clear that you're not just being an asshole, and that you know, there's no disrespect there, because you can pick on people all you want. It's funny as hell. But, you know, there are certain things about certain people maybe you don't joke about. There are certain things that when you say them, it has to be clear that it's a joke. Like, it's not hard to do, to just put that small disclaimer in there that could really help somebody in their self-esteem and how they're feeling. Because there are a lot of people that are on the same internet that we're on, that, you know, I know sometimes, like, negative comments, like, get to me too, and I'll think about them too hard, and I can't imagine getting that all the time at once from everyone, people making videos about it, and people being shitty about it. Like, you have your good feedback and stuff, but then, you know, it seems like the negative feedback is so much, like, stronger and almost, like, more personal, that it can hurt really bad, you know. I've had some things said to me that I was like, dude, ow, like, and now I kind of find it funny because I realize that my emotional reaction is probably what drives these things, and that's fine too, you know. But if it's clearly not a joke, you're just being an asshole for the sake of being an asshole, why do you want to spend your life like that? Like, what's the purpose? So, I don't know. I've been in my head a lot about things, and I'm excited to share a lot of it with you. And I kind of even want to go over some of the things that I've said before that were probably not right or probably really shitty. Because I think owning those things is important as hell too. Like, you know, doing what you can and sort of realizing, I guess, negative things that we're all doing and things that we're doing to kind of contribute to this sort of, I don't want to say culture, but this sort of energy that we've had now. Like, it seems like the reason why it seems like the world keeps getting worse every year is just because we're focusing on all of that shitty stuff. Like, it's kind of garbage to do, and everyone's so, like, pessimistic and nihilistic about everything, and nihilism even works in this sense, because I consider myself kind of there. We're all gonna die anyway, dude. We're all gonna die. Crazy shit's always gonna happen. Things are gonna be crazy absurd, and like, and just move on from it. Like, what's the point in being so upset about something stupid when you just, you know, nothing really matters now, does it? When nothing really matters, you know, like, if it truly doesn't matter and you're really nihilistic and you're real cool and like soulless, then what are you doing? Unless you're really passionate about it, like, what are you doing? And there's a lot of things that I talk on that I'm incredibly passionate about, and I do get angry and I do get heated, but, you know, they're usually things that deserve that sort of attention, that sort of deserve that anger, versus just, I don't know, it's like addicted to outrage is what it is. And it was pointed out in like 2018 that's kind of how all of those fucking anti-SJW channels were. It was just addicted to outrage. Same thing with the super SJW channels that everyone used to go after. I don't know. I just feel like there's things that we could do better. And I don't know. I'll probably end this stream, but I have, you know, I always have more to say. Always. And I have some videos like planned, but it's hard to edit with how my setup is. Because like I said, I'm literally on like plastic totes. But you know, it's kind of hard to edit right now. So streaming might be primarily something I'm doing. So, and like I said, looking for a house again. So hopefully, you know, things get a little bit better there, and I think they will. But yeah, thank you for listening to me kind of just rant about this situation. And I do appreciate it, and I like to think that, you know, maybe if just a few of you take that challenge of complimenting somebody every day, just try that, you know. Try to find something positive to just compliment somebody else on, and see their reaction, and see, like, you know, see how it feels to just be that person that's really nice, because we like receiving compliments all the time, and so why not give that same thing to somebody else, you know? If we like receiving compliments, it's even cooler to give them out, right? You know? It's just like a give and take thing. So, anyway, I'm gonna go, and I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I'm gonna wait until I can leave for the day. But, thank you guys for watching, and I hope this wasn't pointless, and I hope I didn't really piss anyone off with this. I feel like I did, but sometimes we really just need to focus on things that we're doing that are bad, and here we are. Let's do that. Let's affect some kind of change. So, anyway, thank you. I can't wait to start putting out a little bit better content with edited videos instead. So So, anyway, have a good day, you guys, and just try to be happy. Just try to be kind to people.